UOB One versus OCBC 360 account. Which one is better? So I've gone through two of these accounts in my previous video, highlighting them as the best interest savings account to park your cash. But you know that is just general public advice, right? And it's not tailor-made to different individuals according to different situations. So in this video, I'll give a few different scenarios to see which situation will fit your lifestyle, be it you are an employee or you're self-employed, or if you're able to meet those kind of requirements set off by this high interest savings account. But to give a little background of what these two bank accounts are, let's go through the OCBC 360 first. So for OCBC, generally we will be fulfilling the save, salary, and the spend category. And if you fulfill all these three categories, you'll get an effective interest rate of 4.65%. In order to get 4.65%, you will need to credit a salary of minimum $1,800. That is after your CPF deduction, and by the transaction code GIRO-SALARY. So no other kind of transaction code, even like your PAYNOW-SALARY, your fast salary, all these are not eligible. For the save criteria, you will need to increase your daily average balance by at least $500 every month in order to qualify for the save criteria. So this itself is a disadvantage, right? It means that whatever amount that you have in this month must be higher than the amounts that you have in the previous month, which means that you cannot take out money this month. And if you take it out, it means that you will not earn that bonus interest for the save category. And lastly, there is a spend category for OCBC credit cards, eligible OCBC credit cards, like your new NXT card, your OCBC Titanium Rewards, your OCBC 90 Degrees N, and also the OCBC 365 Cashback card. All these you need to spend a minimum of $500 to qualify for the spend category, which will then give you additional 0.6% on top of it. So if you add up all these total categories, you'll get an effective interest of 4.65%. And 4.65%, if we base it on $100,000 of cash savings, that is $4,650 of annual interest, and that means your interest per month will be 4,650 divided by 12, which is $388 IPM. Next up, let's talk about UOB One, because UOB One has been the latest craziest kid in count, giving you as high as 5% per annum effectively, not 7.8%, don't be fooled. So let's see how to get this 5%. Firstly, you need to credit at least $1,600 of salary by GIRO-SALARY or PAYNOW-SALARY. So for those companies who are not paying you by GIRO-SALARY but by PAYNOW-SALARY, at least you can now be eligible for UOB One, but that's not available for OCBC 360. The other criteria is spending, so you will need to spend at least $500 on specific UOB credit cards like UOB Ladies, UOB One, and UOB EVOL. Of course, if you're not eligible for credit cards, you can look at other debit cards like your UOB Mighty FX and UOB One debit card. Now with $100,000 worth of savings, getting an effective interest rate of 5% will get you $5,000 of interest per year. And that means if you take $5,000 divided by 12, you will get a monthly interest of $417 IPM. Now, if all these categories sound too complicated for you, maybe take a look at the sponsors to see how you can get $150 of cash voucher. Ho ho ho, it's Merry Christmas soon, and Weibo is spreading its love by giving $150 worth of cash voucher, especially during this promotional period till 31st December. So when you sign up for Weibo account and make your first deposit of at least 2,000 Singapore dollars, then you can make a one buy order. This order will need to be a minimum of 100 USD. I mean, you can look at AAPL Apple stock, because one share of Apple is around 150 US dollars. Next, you also have to make one options trade, so I would suggest that you buy one put option of Apple at $70, expiring the nearest date, which is this Friday, and that will be at 1 cent, right? So 100 units of that will be just $1 expense. After that, make sure that you hold your deposits for at least 30 days until your cash voucher is credited. So don't need to worry about whether your stock value will fluctuate up or down, because as long as you have not made any cash withdrawals, your reward eligibility is still valid. So sign up for a Weibo account using my referral link down below, or scan a QR code right here, and hope you have enjoyed a Merry Christmas. Alright, so coming back to the different scenarios and different situations for different lifestyles of people, right? I'll come up with the most default scenario. So the first scenario or the first example is that this person is a full-time employee working for a company, which means that he is receiving a monthly salary of at least $2,000. Okay, so I think $2,000 also is a correct benchmark, because you see, in order for a working adult to qualify for a credit card, you need $30,000 of annual salary. And if we take 30,000 divided by 12, that is 2,500 of monthly salary. And you see 2,500, you still have to deduct away 20% CPF, which means that he will be left with $2,000 of salary credit. So for example 1, this person is drawing $2,000 of salary every month after CPF deduction. He is also able to spend at least $500 on the selected credit cards, and at the same time he's able to meet that $500 of incremental spending. So that will mean that in this example 1, this person will have met all the basic requirements targeted for UOB One at 5%, also OCBC's 360's 4.65%. So in this scenario, definitely this person should go for UOB One because 5% is obviously stronger than the 4.65% by OCBC 360, right? Because if we look at the IPM, $417 by UOB One at 5%, $100,000 savings, far superior than OCBC's $388 per month. So I believe those of you who have worked for a few years in the corporate world, most likely you'll belong to example 1. At least $100,000 in savings, you'll have a constant monthly paycheck coming in above $2,000. So you should go with UOB One. Now let's take a look at example 2. Example 2 for me is more like a fresh grad. So a fresh grad, most likely he doesn't have $100,000 of savings, right? Maybe he saved a bit of money during his undergraduate times, and maybe he have like 50,000 upwards till 75,000 even if we have worked some part-time jobs or giving tuition. So this 25-year-old fresh grad have a job that is paying him at least $2,000 monthly, and he is also able to meet a spend of $500 every month on the credit card, and also keep a portion of $500 for incremental savings. But you see, for his savings, I'll take it at a max of $75,000, right? So let's use this $75,000 benchmark to see whether OCBC 360 or UOB One is more suitable. So if we look at the OCBC table and we take the salary, the spend and the save category, we can only take the top tier, right? We cannot take the bottom tier, which means that he will only qualify for a net interest of 3.8% per annum. Okay, so 3.8% per annum, you will not get the 4.65% per annum. So you see, with 3.8% effective interest on $75,000 of savings, he will get a yearly interest of $2,850. And if we take $2,850 divided by 12, you will get a monthly interest of $237 IPM. So let's jump over to UOB One, right? What if he only has 75k in the savings, but he still managed to get a salary credit as well as spending $500 on the selected UOB cards? So the specific interest calculation will be 30 times 3.85 plus 30 times 3.9 plus 15 times 4.85 divided by 75, because they are tiered interest rates, right? Which gives you an effective interest of 4.07% per annum. That will be equivalent to $3,052 of yearly interest, and if we divide that by 12, we will get $254 interest per month. So in this example too, UOB One is still a clear winner, right? $254 versus OCBC's $237. UOB One is still the clear winner for a fresh grad situation. So you see where this competition is going, and if you have more specific and creative scenarios, right, just go to my Telegram group and ask. There will be a lot of experts about credit cards, about bank accounts, helping you. So go join my Telegram group right now. So you see all these 3 examples, seems like UOB One is a clear winner, right? Is there really no chance for OCBC to shine? Okay, I beg to differ, because there is one scenario where OCBC will really shine through, and that is the scenario where you have zero credit card spend. And you know the reason, right, is because a lot of people are still very averse to credit cards. They think credit cards are evil, and most they can use a debit card, but you see the debit card's rewards are not that great, and they probably don't want to touch anything related to Visa, MasterCard or Amex at all. So you see, for this group of people, or they are low spenders, they don't hit the minimum spend of $500, what are they going to do? Are they going to choose between UOB One or OCBC 360? I'll give you an answer now. You realize that if you read UOB One rules, right, every of them, even if you do not have a salary credit, requires you to spend at least $500 on UOB credit card or debit card. So you see, a lot of people, maybe they do not hit this $500 of minimum spending per month. So you see, they forgo one whole month of interest because maybe they only spend $300-400 as a fresh grad, right? Maybe you don't spend so much. So are they going to give all this up? But you look at the savior. Here comes OCBC 360, because spend is not a necessary requirement. It's just an additional requirement on top of what you already have with salary and save. So if you do not have a spend criteria, you're only losing 0.6% maximum. So maybe you still have a salary, at least $1,800, and you're still able to save at least $500 of incremental balances per month. You will still be able to earn 4.05% per annum, you know. And that is the same for my example, because even though I have been applying for OCBC credit cards for the longest time, they have not been approving my credit cards even though I've tweeted to them. So you see, I actually do belong to this category before the UOB One account offer came by, and I was only able to get 4.05%, which is already not bad on a $100,000 balance, because if you take 4.05%, that is a yearly interest of $4,050 on a 100k savings. And if you take that divide by 12, that is $338 interest per month, which is a clear winner compared to UOB, because in UOB, if you don't spend anything on credit cards, you don't get anything, which is really pathetic, right? So for those people who are not able to apply for credit cards, or you don't hit the minimum spending, or you just don't really like using credit card, then maybe OCBC 360 is the final answer for you. So after all this comparison, my conclusion is that you need to find out what kind of situation are you suitable to use. You need to read the terms and conditions really carefully, make sure that you fulfill those requirements, and don't just increase your spending to 500 just to meet those kind of minimum spending, because they're all enticing you to spend, right? It's a consumerism culture. Make sure the thing fits your lifestyle rather than your lifestyle fits the offer. I think that's the more important one. So if you're really interested in the UOB One current account to see how you can get 5% interest, then make sure you look at my full UOB One review right here.